We're going to be reading a classic vampire novel from the 1840s today. This story is 50 years older than Dracula. If you've never joined us before, tonight is Varney the Vampire. This one has been delightful. Most of the things you think you know about vampires originated with this story, which was really a collection of penny dreadfuls. So they were released almost like comic books, and people were reading them while waiting on trains and other things in London in the 1840s. So almost everything you know about vampires started with the story we are reading tonight. We'll begin reading in half an hour. So if you're watching this on a recording later, you can skip ahead a half an hour and we'll begin the story about then. But we're starting promptly at 7 Central. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Remember to tap and share and like and stars and all the things that are necessary to help us to reach more people so that we can have a, oops, wrong button there, so we can have the very best possible time. I'm going to change it. That's not what I want. Not that button. Okay. Sometimes I'm a good cameraman, sometimes I'm not. Oops, definitely not that button. Okay. Maybe if I just tilt it backwards. I think that'll be okay. I think we'll be good enough. All right. Welcome in. Welcome in. Someday I'm going to have this set up with a better system. You watched us this morning before the gallbladder surgery, and now you're on after I'm glad your gallbladder surgery went really well. The road to recovery on that these days is a lot faster than it used to be, and I hope that this helps you to live a much healthier life going forward. Hey guys, welcome in. Thank you for the mayoral support. I appreciate that. And those who are looking for it, Vampire Mayor, you can look for Vampire Mayor, followed by the dot and then the COM. That's where you can find my my information regarding that. T-shirts, things like that are available there. I've known a lot of people that have had that surgery and have lived very good lives afterwards. I think a little higher maybe with the cameras. Trying to get everything adjusted as everyone comes in. The wife, of course, it's the privilege of a beautiful woman to keep us all waiting anxiously for her to arrive. And she is getting ready for our story time. She does the biggest part of the reading. I read the parts for the vampires. She'll be reading all the other parts. So for her, preparing for this is very important. You have another friend that's running for mayor. Is it locally or is it here? I should be the next Dos Equis guy. Well, that would involve me drinking something I don't drink. I am not a fan of the fizzy, carby, heavy beverages and stuff. It's just absolutely not a thing. Is the snow melted here? It has been 80 degrees a lot of last week. Yes, the snow has been melted for a long time. It's very warm in Arkansas. Welcome in. Hello. I'm not your mommy. I'm glad you enjoy all my videos. Thank you so much. I just got a heart me from a lovely lady. Thank you. Thank you. I do not know how to say your name, Xbox, but welcome in. And welcome in. Is that Tynan? Tynan? I'm going to try to say the names as correctly as I possibly can. We're in Fort Smith, Arkansas. What's up with the theater? Did we pass on it? Yeah, we weren't. that interested specifically in the theater. That's just not something that we remodel or have experience with, so I didn't feel comfortable doing that deal. I was there really to look at the apartments, and we bid on both of the apartments, but they got a little too high for us. Hello, Crazy, and welcome in. Remember, if you tap and share and all those things, it helps me to get more followers, and I will perform some magic for you as a reward. So if you enjoy magic, I will do magic for you every time TikTok gets us 50,000 hearts, which is very fast around here sometimes. So we're already up over 3,000, and we've only been going a couple minutes. So that's pretty good, and it'll get faster as more people join us. I got it the second time. Well, I appreciate you. I don't remember which way I pronounced it the second time, so I'm probably just going to avoid trying to pronounce your name. Oh, I guess I need to silence that. Silency. Vampire vibes. That's interesting. Thank you, Crazy. Your sub and your subscriptions, those help us greatly. Do I make a fair bit from what I do? So I made over $45,000 on TikTok last year, which is kind of a new thing. That's the year before I didn't make really anything, maybe $1,000. And I'm making some off some of my other social medias now too. So that's been a nice little extra thing, but it's a lot of work. The amount of time I spend creating content or going live is time I could be spending being productive in other things. So some people make the mistake of picturing social media is like free money. It is absolutely not free money. You work for it. It's effort. It's time. But I like the opportunity to educate people. I love the messages I get where people have been able to buy homes for the first time, or started investing and now have rental properties. Or I have a guy that's lost over 120 pounds by changing to the carnivore diet last year who messaged me, and I get those kinds of messages all the time, and that really is the reason why I do this. That's the reason why I started it, because the first year I didn't make anything doing it. It was just me talking to people and sharing with you the things that we do. How much would you say time-wise you spend working on TikTok content or going live? I would say 25 hours a week is probably at least the number. I could probably look it up and find out, but probably about 25 hours a week. Get a real job, not social media stuff. I can promise you this is a real job, but most of my money comes from landlording. That's what I do, real estate investing, which is way more than 25 hours a week. No, same camera. We just are in a room with better lighting. Sometimes I come into my studio here where we have better lighting. I'm glad you enjoy the stories, Marcy. And I'm glad you like to watch us skate as well. We enjoy skating. What is your favorite song and food? I guess my favorite food is a ribeye steak, like a gigantic ribeye, maybe like a tomahawk ribeye steak. I think that's amazing. Song-wise, I like so many different songs. I like old jazz songs, The Girl from Ipanema. I like Mac the Knife, Louis Armstrong's version in particular of that. I appreciate lots of 80s, all different kinds of 80s music. I don't even know how I would begin to pick one, but I think that we can all agree that the greatest musician of our time, and probably the greatest song of our entire history of humanity, like peak human musical writing, is Weird Al Yankovic's Albuquerque. I think anybody that would argue against that doesn't know anything about music. Do I ever go on vacation? Kind of. I went to Turkey in December. I don't know if I'd call that a vacation, but we did take a couple of days to vacation while we were there. I was there for the hair transplant. I made some videos about it. Welcome in, Ella. I'm glad you enjoy. We love reading to you. Do I thrift a lot of my furniture and decor? Yes, a lot of it is thrifted, and we sometimes make videos about it. For example, this sofa, I haven't even had to reupholster this. $250 is how much I gave for this, and it came with these pillows. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, I had a hair transplant done in the beginning of December. I will be doing an update video about that at some point soon. Hi, Renee. Welcome in. It's been about 3 months now, so it's time I probably do an update soon. I wanted to wait for some time to pass. Can you bake me some cookies? No, I don't eat any cookies. I only eat meat and animal products, no plants at all. I haven't had a plant in more than 3 months. I look like a vampire. That's weird. The transplant's healing up pretty good now. It's not nearly as itchy. It took over 2 months to get over the itchy, awful phase of that. And now I'll occasionally get the itch, but it's very rare, and I'm feeling pretty good. I can assure you I do not need plants for that purpose. I have no problem with that, Sarah. 3 years, yes, 3 years without eating plants. Excuse me. Well, this hair is my real hair. The hair you can see. The hair back here is the hair that was transplanted, and it's still my real hair. It was transplanted from my scalp to my scalp. It's a very interesting process. You have a PhD? That's incredible. Yeah, I love the carnivore diet. My cholesterol numbers came in just fine. You're waiting for me to answer what? I guess I missed it, Karen. Sorry, sometimes takes me a while to get to every question. I really do try to read them. How is your vitamin D level in your blood? It's very good. Very, very good. How much does it cost? I need to have that, have a Bologna patch. So 6,400 hair follicles is how much they transplanted, 6,400 hairs, and counting the hotel stay and everything, it was $3,300. It was amazing. Well, I'm glad you managed to make it in as well, Michelle. We'll be beginning in 15 minutes on the story. Just Sam says, I just want to say I started putting butter in my coffee like you, and it's amazing. I'm telling you, right? Like if you guys followed me and took some of my weirdness, you might learn a thing or two. Thank you for the support for the mayor campaign. No statins for me. No, not necessarily. Thank you for the party hat. I appreciate that. What is the purpose of butter in coffee? Asking out of curiosity. It's incredible. Yes, it is incredible. With a little bit of salt, it's so good. It's the way coffee was meant to be consumed. It's both good for you. It helps keep you in ketosis, and it's also delicious. Ooh, thank you, darling. I know, you're keeping everyone waiting. They all have to wait for you. She looks absolutely fabulous. I can't wait for her to come in here for y'all to see. Can you get a house in Illinois with a 630 credit score? Yes, you can get a house anywhere with a 630 credit score. However, it may be more difficult than if your credit score was higher. The first of every month I try to do a credit building video. So if you look back at the first of the month, you should see a credit building video that I do. And you can probably increase your credit score by 50 to 80 points in about 2 to 3 months. I would advise that. It'll give you a lot more options on getting a house. And remember, those of you just joining us, every 50,000 likes on TikTok, I will perform some magic for you. So if you enjoy magic, make sure to tap, tap, tap. And I will try to reward you guys on the other platforms as well for your likes and for all the things you do to help me to grow as a creator. Because I wouldn't be here if it were not for you. You want a house tour? At some point I'll do a house tour. Yes, you should only use real butter. We don't use any fake butter. Where did I get it done? I got it done in Turkey. Turkey is where you should go for a hair transplant if you're going to do one. If you want to send me a message, I'd be happy to share the details of the place I went to. Sierra wants to see the beautiful wife. Don't worry, she'll be here momentarily. She is taking care of everything she needs to prepare of before she begins her story. What was my job before landlording? I was a technology consultant, a small business that I kind of started where I helped small local businesses with technology, website development, things like that. Dennis Carroll has met several real vampires. I'm not sure who Dennis Carroll is. I haven't met Dennis Carroll. Do you guys have children? I have adults, Samantha. We have 2 adults now. We had children, but they became adults over time, believe it or not. There she is. Isn't she absolutely gorgeous? Ah, I love you. I missed you so much. Is it too cold for you?
It's a little chilly.
A little chilly. Okay. I need to get you mic'd up.
Hi. I've made real butter before too. I was a child. We had a milk cow, and we would skim the cream off the milk, and we had a gallon container that kind of had a wheel, a crank. I gotta be careful saying that word. And it had the paddle inside, and I would sit and watch my cartoons, and I would spin the wheel, and I would keep doing that till I had butter.
I think we have it framed in.
Do we have pets? No, we do not have any pets. My son has a bird, so I guess technically I have a grand birdie.
A grand birdie, yes, we have a grand birdie.
A sweet little grand birdie. Thank you. It was a gift.
Is that the one that we were gifted?
Yes, so if I kiss you with this lipstick, you will have lipstick on you.
Prove it. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Did we affect your audio there?
Yeah.
Here. Let me help you. You're adorably.
Aw, thank you. All better? It seems as though my chain is...
Your chain definitely likes the magnet.
Attracts, so that means it's made out of cobalt, nickel, or iron.
He's a paranormal investigator. Well, if you ever wanted to paranormally investigate me, he's welcome to come do so.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Lori says, I love watching you and your wife. You are so good together. Love how calm you stay through everything that life throws at you. We do our very best.
I do have some moments.
She does. And it's very important. A big part of our relationship dynamic for me, I think, is sometimes taking the anxiety and the stress away from her. And that's a role that's important. And I think it can be underappreciated sometimes how important a calming role can be in life.
I don't eat late night snacks. In fact, I try to eat my dinner about 4.
We will have some butter before bed, though. We'll eat just some straight up butter.
Well, I don't think of that as a snack. I think of that as bedtime butter.
Yeah, it's almost a medicinal thing. We'll eat a little bit of butter before we go to bed.
Bedtime butter, bedtime butter. Bedtime, 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 bedtime butter.
It's going to be too cold for you if I leave this on, I'm sure.
Is it on cool?
Well, it's on dehumidify, which cools things down. I know for you this is too cold. For those of us that are mammals and are warm-blooded, we definitely enjoy the cooler temperatures.
Ooh, how can you get your credit back to where it needs to be? Well, there was a reason it went from 689 to 546.
How can you get it back? You probably either overused or you missed a payment. You probably have a bad mark.
If you haven't ran your credit score, I would do your credit report, your free credit report.
You can do that by going to annual credit report and look for that specific thing.
We can't say the dot. And
afterwards.
The other
But it's
part.
the old classic one that we all used. It looks like it's from 1996 because it is.
It's old, yes. And then you want to figure out what is in that credit report, because studying your credit report or putting it into ChatGPT and having that help you to study it will tell you what happened that made your score go down. And you want to do the opposite of that.
Somebody asks what your thought process was with bringing backup and invading the privacy at my Airbnb. So
I don't eat butter in bed. I eat it before bed.
Are we done? Okay.
Sorry.
So first off, I was not invading privacy. I knocked on the door and nobody came to the door, and I did not go any further than that. I was trying to have a conversation with the person. And bringing backup is because that's a potentially unsafe situation if they are doing the substances that were described to me. And it was not just some green things that are gardening related.
I want
It
to
was
be
something more dangerous potentially than that. So I wanted to make sure that we were in a safe situation as we could be. Upon further investigation, it feels like that person was not necessarily correct in their informing me. The informant that I got was probably not correct and was probably going after them for other reasons. But they sent me a letter. They saw the videos afterwards, and they sent me messages and said, "Hey, I appreciate you guys letting us stay." They were pretty respectful in the cleanup. If you saw my video the next day, yeah, did they have a party? They said, "Yeah, we did get a little bit louder than we probably should have, and I'm sorry." One of the girls was mad, and was yelling and probably a little bit intoxicated, and but we respected their privacy completely.
And to be clear, when somebody rents a B&B from us or any other host, we don't know what's going on inside. I mean, some of us have camera systems on the outside and we can see if, too many unauthorized guests come around. Like if you're having a whole lot of extra people over or something like that, we could see things like that, but we can't have cameras going on inside. We don't know what you are doing on the inside, and that's, the privacy thing. So, sometimes things happen inside our B&Bs that we find out after the fact. We come in and we smell odors that shouldn't be in there. We see things that we're like, oh my goodness, what the heck happened in here?
And to be clear, every next night we have somebody staying. It's not like almost every night is booked. So we have to have it ready by 4 o'clock the next day, no matter the condition it's left. So somebody's asking, they watched the clip of me in the board meeting yesterday on March 10th. So I did an announcement at the board meeting, and they're asking, I need to have that silenced so it doesn't disturb. For clarification, you say you want to change the position for you or for who gets it in general? I feel like, so many have asked this question. The mayoral position of Fort Smith that I'm running for is a ceremonial position. It doesn't have the mayoral powers that most cities have for a mayor. In Fort Smith, we run our government as a city administrator. That means the city administrator is appointed by the board of directors, and the board of directors gets to choose who is enacting their laws rather than the citizens choosing, like in most cities. This leads to a lot of problems and a lot of potential corruptions, and just it's caused issue for our city for a long time. More importantly than electing me mayor is changing that about our city. That is why this is the primary focus of my campaign, and from the very beginning, I have said this is the most important part. Whether I'm elected mayor or you vote for somebody else, we need to change this aspect of Fort Smith. It has to change. I'm going to put all of my efforts possible into changing that. I love several of the people running against me for mayor already that I've gotten to have conversations with them. I think they are good people that can do a good job, and I could vote for several of them. And that makes me happy. Does it mean it will be perfect? No, we'll have a bad mayor at some point. There will be a bad mayor elected. But we've had a lot of bad administrators that have been appointed. Elections aren't perfect. Appointments aren't perfect. There are pros and cons. But when we have our mayor go represent our city and try to gather business for our city, for example, right now our mayor has no power. He goes, he can have the conversations the other mayors can have and say, why don't you come relocate your business to Fort Smith? And Fayetteville and other cities around can have that same conversation. The difference is those mayors actually have power behind what they say. They can make deals. They can do things. Our mayor has to then come back and talk to a group of people, a board, try to get the board on board, then get the city administrator on board, and it takes weeks and weeks and weeks. And it causes us to be late to the game for many things business related.
We had a person here that says they are an Airbnb host and that Airbnb hasn't treated them very kindly and they're thinking of going to different platforms.
Right.
And I wanted to say that even though we do use Airbnb, we are also using VRBO. We are also using Google Vacation Rentals. We are also using Booking. So don't just stick with one. Go ahead and pepper yourself out there onto the different vacation rental platforms because you never know what bookings will come from what platform.
Right, and there's software that will manage that. There's several different versions of software. We use one called OwnerRez currently. It's a little bit of a nerdier software than some, but it gives you quite a bit of specific controls that we like.
Very cool. All smart appliances.
There are sensors too that can alert you to the vapors going into the air off of burning things and stuff like that that can send you alerts.
Yeah, that is still where the bulk of our bookings come from, but we get bookings from the other places as well.
Are we 24/7 together since marriage? We've probably spent a total of 7 nights apart. I had a couple nights with a leadership retreat. I had a 3-night business trip once that we were apart, and she had a 2-night business retreat once. No, you had a women's night that you went to.
Yeah, I went to a women's
So maybe
night
8
once.
nights apart, and we've been married for close to 25 years. We've been together 25 years. We've been married 24.
Hello, Australia.
Do we make epic drink combos? Not really. We used to make some interesting adult beverages.
I
But
like bone broth occasionally.
we're drinking salt water. That's what we're drinking, is some salt water.
Now, Jordan, you keep putting stuff on there. It's going to make me want to sing. I like that song. The Lord is
Hello,
my light
Alaska.
and
Welcome.
my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life.
I need to learn
Whom shall
from
I
my
fear?
wife on
Whom shall I fear?
how to maintain long hair. Thank you. I do
Thank
try to
you.
learn
This
from
is a
my wife.
gift.
She is amazing.
The lipstick was a gift. Why am I drinking salt water? Electrolytes are marvelous for me. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, thank you.
One of the problems for me with my long hair is I'm frequently going into dusty environments where we're sanding things and kicking up sawdust and causing problems, and that can definitely be an issue. Or crawling under houses. Sometimes you'll see my videos where I'm crawling under houses.
We do a lot of communication together.
Question on real estate. We can try to answer it. There's 715 people in the TikTok chat right now, so I will try if I see it, but I can just let you know that the questions are coming in very fast on TikTok. Hello, Ohio.
Sodium
Welcome in.
is a electrolyte, yes.
Let's see. I'm trying to answer. It's going to be hard to go back. Personal question to Shane. Is there ever comments that make you angry, or do you just not give? So, no, like, here's the thing. There are lots of ways you can be of service to a person. And I'm here to serve. I'm here to educate you on how to buy houses, how to fix credit, a lot of the things that I make videos about, how to be a landlord, those types of things. But one way that we can also be of service is maybe a person doesn't feel very good about their situation. Maybe a person feels down about their life or other things. And they come here and they see me being a little bit eccentric or strange, and they heckle me and say, oh, look at this weirdo, at least I'm not like that guy. And it makes them feel better about their own situation. That's wonderful. I'm glad. I'm absolutely glad that I can be there to be weird enough that they can feel better about their own situation. That is an act of service that I can be. And if it makes them feel better, let them heckle me all they want. I am all for that.
Thought that would be fun.
Your video helped me convince my spouse to work on our financial health. I'm really glad. And where's the book at? The Rich Dad Poor Dad book.
Oh, we have a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I had some nearby. I thought, are they up there? No. Where are they?
Here you
There's
go.
one. So this book I recommend highly. You can find it on my TikTok showcase, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and this was the book that started me on being financially better. What do you think you'll be doing if you weren't in real estate and B&Bs? I was in technology consulting for years before that. Do I thrift for my clothes? No, I do not thrift for my clothes usually. I mean, occasionally. Some of my disco shirts are thrifted, so
yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Oops. That's a flashback. You have pink hair.
10 years ago, where did you think you'd be? Well, I didn't think I would be sitting here talking to a camera with, between all these different channels, 800 people hanging out with me right now. I can tell you that it's time to start our story. It's 7 o'clock. All right, let's begin with the recap. So we've been following Varney the Vampire. This is a story written 50 50 years before Dracula. This inspired many of the things you think you know about vampires. It inspired so much. So we followed Varney.
Pink then.
What?
Oh, my pink hair.
Oh, we're still in the photos. Gotcha.
Sorry.
Gotcha. No, it's okay. They're cute. I love the photos of you. They make me happy. So Varney started off trying to buy some real estate, and the people discriminated against him because he was a vampire. They ended up burning his house down, refused to sell him the property he wanted to buy, and then chased him out of town, angry mob style. Fortunately, he managed to make a little bit of extra money first, and he used this money to try to rent a place, throw lavish parties, try to find a cute young thing for him to marry. And would you believe his wedding got interrupted by those same people that caused him to get ran out of town before? Totally ruined things. Then he spent some time impersonating a soldier, a Colonel de Vril, and trying to get married, and almost had it again, and then it also got spoiled. But lately we've been following Varney as he's traveling across the countryside into a luxury area called Bath, England, which is still known for luxuriant vacations to this day, but they were going there for a vacation. And
Thank you so much for all the roses.
I guess we just left off where he went to acquire some gold to relieve it of a person who wasn't doing any good with it, and helped to accelerate the natural causes that were inevitable in order to acquire this gold in a more efficient manner. I think that's kind of where we left off, right?
I just got this lipstick for a gift. I'm not sure the name of the brand. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for all the gifts. So we are going to start our story. And there was an unaliving in the story. Did you talk about that?
You weren't listening to me at
I'm
all.
sorry. Yeah,
There's so many comments coming in you're reading.
I was
Thank
trying
you for all the roses. That's amazing. You're going to help me get to that goal.
Thank you. So, the next day came. There was much excitement in the family of the Frasers. Each one could see the partiality of Sir Francis for Miss Stevens. She herself could not pretend that it was not so, or that she was unable to see it. It was quite plain and evident, and yet it gave her great pain, because she had had an inconquerable aversion to him who was her benefactor, and whom she owed so much. This, however, was a strong and inexplicable feeling in her own mind, and she felt that if being unalived or Sir Francis were her only alternatives...
Why do you not have a search bar?
I don't know.
I was going to go in to give comments, but I can't. Okay, go ahead, continue. Sorry.
I don't know where it went.
I will find it.
Try going back into it again.
There it is. Okay, now it exists.
Yes, there you go.
Sorry, everyone, for the interruption. I'm trying to log in, so I'll be chatting from her accounts while she's reading.
We do have some people that show up in some of our other places because they feel like it's very hard to be able to get a comment in here in the TikTok land. This, however, was a strong and inexplicable feeling in her own mind, and she felt that if being unalived or Sir Francis were her only alternatives, she must choose the former. This was from some feeling. From what source it sprung she could not tell you, that appeared to forbid her permitting the approach of such a lover. It might have been instinct, or it might have been that she had taken a personal dislike to him on account of his complexion, and yet she could not admit so much even to herself as that, and yet it must have had its origins. She looked at him much more and more each hour, and more did she dislike him. At length, she felt so much repugnance to him that, if it were not for the deep gratitude that she owed him, she would fly from, and not even endure his society, good as that she was compelled to admit really was. When he offered her his arm in their walk to the assembly rooms and the pump room, they were much pleased with the appearance of everything, and with the attentions of Sir Francis, who certainly did all that he could to make the party comfortable and amused. He was so well acquainted with every object. As they returned to the hotel, at which they all remained, they passed the house of the old woman who had been so cruelly unalived the night before. Sir Francis cast a cursory glance at it as they passed, but there was no sign of the door having been opened, and the unaliver had not yet been discovered. And this arose from the fact that the old woman was an eccentric, and her shutters had remained in that way before, and therefore no one took any particular notice of it. When the party had reached the hotel, Sir Francis said,
"How will I presume attend the ball this evening at the assembly rooms?"
"We should wish to do so," replied the captain. "Do you intend to go, Sir Francis?"
"I will, Captain. It is now some time since I went to such a place, and I think the change will be so great and agreeable that I will go."
"Then we shall have the advantage of your guidance, and I hope that we shall long have the pleasure of your doing so," said Captain Fraser.
"You are very good in saying so, Captain, and if agreeable to you and yourself and the ladies, I am willing and shall be happy to bear your company."
"I'm sure," replied Mrs. Fraser, "that we shall always be happy with Sir Francis Varney's company, and thank him for his consideration. Shall we not, dear sister?" "Oh, yes. I am sure that I shall be much obliged to Sir Francis for this, as well as many other services that he has done."
"Do not talk in this manner. Do not speak of the past, Miss Stevens. It is the present. I would wish with you to think of at the same time. I desire only to be accepted because I may not be thought intruding."
"Dear me, Sir Francis, how you talk! Really, I am afraid that we have said something to give you displeasure, or my sister here has misbehaved herself. If so, I shall really take her to task for so doing."
"You will be acting unjustly if you do, but permit me to leave you for a short time. I have some matters to transact. I expect a remittance of money to this place, for I usually appoint some particular town or city, for I do not consider it safe to carry any great amount of money about me. It gives me such temptations to robbery and violence that, traveling as I do from place to place, I am especially liable to such attempts."
"Oh, certainly you are."
"Then I will bid you good evening for the present."
said the baronet,
Okay,
and he left the room.
gotcha.
When Sir Francis left the apartment... Are you shutting the door, I
Yeah.
suppose? When Sir Francis left the apartment in which he had been with the Frasers, he walked to his own apartment, and taking a large cloak and a small portmanteau that he had purchased, he made his way to the very house where he had the night before committed such a double unaliving. Before he reached there, however, he put the cloak on, and when he approached the house, he found the street entirely deserted. Then, hastily stepping up, he put the key into the keyhole, and at once opened the door and walked in. He paused a moment or two, and then went down the passage a few feet until he came to the bodies, for which he felt with his feet.
"Ah, I see. All is right. Quite right. Here is the body. Nobody has been here to disturb it."
He took out the materials for obtaining a light, and then he pushed past and walked up the stairs until he came to the bedroom, where he again opened the strange receptacle of gold and bones. But, as he did so, what was his amazement to find a small packet of paper lying down, and all the gold gone. He started up in an instant, and laid his hand upon his sword, but at the same time he appeared riveted to the spot, and paused in his attitude for more than a minute. Then, recovering himself, he gazed round slowly and carefully from side to side, as if to assure himself that he was not trapped. But hearing no sound, nothing stirring from any quarter whatever, he began to think there might be some mistake in his vision.
Surely, no one could have come in and seen the bodies process themselves of the money and then walked out. They would surely have given the alarm. Besides, anyone who had entered this would never have gone further than the bodies. It's impossible,
he muttered, and he again stooped down to examine the cupboard from which the treasure appeared to be abstracted. But there was nothing to be seen, save the bare boards. No sign of the treasure remained. This was a strange and mysterious disappearance of what could not have been gone without human means.
How did they get at it? The place was locked, and in the same order as I left. No getting into this place without unlocking or forcing open the cupboard, or I may say a chest, for this is a strange place. It is not broken open, and I have the key.
Varney paused for several moments, and then he picked up some paper, which was folded up, and seeing that it was written upon, he thrust it into his pocket, and again looked up into the treasure coffer, but all was gone.
Damn!
Oh, muttered Varney furiously, stamping his foot, as if at that moment only he had become perfectly aware of his disappointment.
What can be the meaning of this? But this is no place for me. Someone has been here, and the murderer is known. I must quit it.
We do love the TikTok shop.
The TikTok shop is amazing.
At that moment, there came such a peal at the door with the knocker that made the house appear as if it were a pandemonium of noises and echoes, which followed the first stunning sounds that filled the place. Varney started and listened.
Ah, they have tracked me here. What can that mean? Have they indeed laid a trap for me? Do they think I am caught? But no, I am too fast. They know me not, nor can anyone have traced me here, for they know not where I came from. But there's useless speculating. They may have laid a trap to catch whom they could, or they have seen the light in the house being shut all day, and now want to see if anything is the matter. But I'll warrant all is safe and clear. There is nothing known, and all I have to do is to get away.
That was very true. All Sir Francis had to do was get away, but it was somewhat more difficult to perform that than he had any notion. For as he came out into the landing, he found that there was an unexpected obstacle in his path. As soon as he attempted to descend to the back parlor for the purpose of getting out of the back window, he found that the door had been burst open by the impatience of the mob who stood below, and the door not being very strong, the shoulders of those who were nearest were sufficient to force it open. In a moment the passage was filled with a crowd, the foremost of whom tumbled over the body. Were up in a moment. "Good God!" exclaimed one. "Here is somebody lying down in the passage."
"It is a corpse,"
said another.
"The woman has been unalived,"
said another.
Get a light, and let us see what is the matter. Here is an unalived body. A light, get a light. Can someone, one of you?" "Well, I suppose we can, but what of it? I expect it can't be done without giving anybody time to do it. If you think it can, you had better do it yourself, and perhaps you'll begin now."
Pardon me. However, there was a light produced, and that put an end to the altercation, and silence was immediately restored when they saw the congealed blood and the body laying in it. And then one, on pushing his way into the parlor, exclaimed, "And here's the other old woman. She's unalived and cold." "She's been unalived."
"Yes, there is no doubt about that. The poor creature, and no one at hand to lend them any assistance. What a horrible affair!"
"Yes, horrible.
But who has done it?" "There are rooms upstairs. They'd better be searched. Let's go up at once. Aye, aye."
Sir Francis waited a moment. Not a moment more. He had heard enough to convince him his only chance was to escape while he could, for if they once seized him under such circumstances, he would not be able to escape again, and he immediately rushed to the back window. But there was no balcony there. He could not get out there, so came to the landing, and just reached the short steps that led to the roof. And there he scarcely got the trapdoor unbolted when he heard a voice say,
"Up the stairs, lads, up the stairs. I hear somebody there trying to get out. Up the stairs, lads, and follow him. Upstairs."
There was a shout, and then all rushed upstairs, and Varney had scarcely got into the loft when someone called out,
"I see his legs. He's got into the loft. Up the steps."
"Hurrah! Hurrah! Up the steps, my boys! Follow me!" said one man, as he got on the landing and ran to seize the ladder. But Varney saw the necessity of preventing immediate and hot pursuit, lest he should be recognized and followed to the hotel, when that would be an unaliving to his hopes. Just as the man had reached the ladder, Varney lifted it off the hooks upon which it hung, and flung it back against the man, who fell back, and he, the fallen ladder, created a dreadful confusion among those who were coming up the stairs, many being knocked down, and the remainder retreated, thinking that at least there were a battalion of unalivers. This gave Varney time to get to the roof, and he then crept along several housetops, without being discovered, though he could hear the shouts and the hum of the mob as they gathered round the house that he had left. Terribly sorry, we've got a picture.
Yes, it's time for the photo.
Here we go. The crowd finding the bodies. Oh dear, you've hit magic time.
Well, should we stop and do some magic or continue? I guess we've already stopped. Why don't I do a quick magic trick for you guys? All right, everyone. 50,000 likes as promised. I'm going to do a magic trick for you. I'm the only person in the world that can do this. If you've never seen it before, this is a treat for you today. So what I have here is a deck of cards. What I'm going to do is take the cards into my mouth, take a card from them, flip it over backwards, and put it back in. And you will get to pick a card.
Six of diamonds?
Uh-huh.
The six of diamonds is what he has chosen.
Oh.
You gotta be careful pressing those buttons. Thank you, everyone, for being so terribly awesome.
Oh.
We make you tear up. Oh, you miss Ozzy. Aw. Thank you, Randy.
Ah. Let's see if you can find that six of diamonds in here. Do you see the six of diamonds anywhere? See this one? If I just picked your card, send me a galaxy. Come on, that's pretty amazing, right? Most guys can't even find the bean. I know, ladies, it's confusing. So.
The box is not meat, and he does tend to destroy these boxes over time.
Yeah.
It gets very soggy.
Yeah.
Very soggy.
Yeah, I have to replace these periodically because the nature of the trick.
Hello, Ohio. I'm going to rest my voice now while he talks just for a moment.
Oh, okay. So what do we think is going to happen to Varney? He's escaped onto a roof again, it seems like, huh? That's never happened to Varney before. Obviously, anytime he gets chased by a mob, he's going to end up on a roof, it feels like. You're back. Welcome in, crazy. She is gorgeous, Rachel, but quit hitting on her. No, it's okay.
So
You
he's
can
on
hit
a
her if you
roof.
want to.
This gave Varney time to get to the roof, and he then crept along several housetops without being discovered, though he could hear the shouts and hum of the mob as they gathered round the house that he had left. Then, how to get out of his present position was a question that he was not well able to tell. He must let himself out through some of the houses, and to do that without raising a hue and a cry was a question that he was not able to solve. Once or twice he thought of letting himself down from the outside, but this he gave up as being impossible, for destruction to himself would be the instant result.
I must get into one of those houses and remain concealed till the unalive of the night, and then I could get through the house without any trouble or fear of detection. But then, the Frasers, I must not disappoint them. He's such a gentleman. He's literally running for his life, and he wants to make sure not to disappoint the Frasers.
This last consideration appeared to determine him, for he immediately crawled to one house that appeared to be the best calculated for his purpose, and he at once entered it by means of a small window that belonged to an attic. In this room was to be seen only a bed and a few chairs and a table. All was silent. No one was moving. He stepped up to the bed, but was somewhat startled to find it occupied by some odd-looking human form, wrapped up in a curious and uninviting matter.
Ah, I didn't think to have found anyone in possession of this place so early, but they sleep, and that is enough.
He had scarce said so when a voice said, "Nurse! Nurse, confound you! Why don't you bring me my posset? Do you hear? Cuss you! I have been kept here for 2 hours without my supper, and what you gave me last night had no rum in it. How's a man to get well and kept upon short allowance? I tell you it cannot be done, not at any price. Will you bring me my grog, posset, or won't you, you inhuman wench, to keep an old sailor upon short allowance of grog, and won't give him any except in the shape of a posset?"
Do you know what a posset is?
We had to look it up.
Anybody here know what a posset is? I'm going to give a few seconds to see if anybody knows.
It sounds terrible.
It does sound terrible. Posset. Posset. I like learning new words.
I don't think it's a creamy dessert.
I don't think it qualifies as a creamy dessert. No.
The random... Maybe,
It is
maybe
not a cup.
I don't think so. Hello, hello.
Hello, Iran. People, it is not people. All right, so a posset is cream.
It says a drink made with hot milk and curdled with wine or rum, commonly taken as a remedy for a cold or the sniffles. Doesn't that sound horrific?
Mm-hmm. Curdled cream with alcohol. Yeah.
That just does not sound good. Hello, Boston. This was pathetic, but Varney paid no attention to it and gently glided out of the room. When he quitted the apartment, he descended the stairs, and then he came to the passage or hall when he was met by a stout female. "What do you want?" exclaimed the female.
Madam, are you aware of the calamity that has befallen you?
"No, sir. What is it?"
The lunatic in the top room has in a fit of malignity set the upper part of your house in flames. You had better take care of yourself.
"Oh, my goodness! Oh, my goodness! The house is on fire!" said the fat woman. "Oh, mercy, mercy! Fire! Fire in the house! There's a fire!" Varney turned round and opened the door just as several people were rushing out of their rooms at hearing these alarming exclamations.
That will do,
muttered Varney, as he closed the door behind him and then walked hastily towards the hotel, to which, however, he did not go quite straight. He went a little on one side to avoid meeting the crowd, as being an unpleasant mass of human creatures, which are singularly unpleasant to meet with, leaving them to secure themselves and to find the unaliver, if they were able to do so.
I'm a tad bit hungry. You can usually, my teeth show a little bit more when I'm hungry. I hope y'all are enjoying this story. She's going to rest her voice for a little bit and sip on some salt water.
I definitely would prefer salt water to something that sounds as terrible as possible.
Yeah, maybe it's better than it sounds.
Perhaps it is, but it doesn't seem like it would be.
It does not sound appealing at all.
And I do say that the British aren't necessarily known for that drink or anything, so it's probably fallen to the wayside for a reason.
Yeah, maybe so. Now, the 1820s was where this is set, and this story was written in the 1840s. It might have already fallen out of favor at the time this was written, because it does include some purposeful references backward to make the time feel more past. You like her cameo necklace? We were gifted this week by one of our followers.
Yes, the ring, the lipstick, and the necklace.
All came from one of our delightful followers.
Mm-hmm. The ring's a little loose on that finger. I'll try this one. Yeah, it's not so wiggly on that one.
I hope you're enjoying the story. We have Varney running from an angry mob of humans yet again. That seems to be a recurring theme in this story for
Yes,
sure.
he tends to get in trouble. Oh, we do seem to be frozen on that one.
Don't know if it's frozen or not.
There we go.
Yep, we're moving again. I may have to restart this.
That does occur sometimes. We're having trouble with some of the
one of our
places.
platforms.
We'll miss you. Thank you for joining us in our story time, for those of you who have to go.
Yeah, we're
But
definitely
we are
not
definitely
done.
not finished. Good morning for you. Good morning. Yes, the garage is back on there. It is
Lost
Vampire Story
connection.
Night, yes. We remind you of wildflowers. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello. We're waiting while Mr. Shane gets things
Yeah, I'm working
fixed.
on trying to set this platform back up again. Somehow we got disconnected.
Thank you. Hello, Iowa. How old are we? We are Generation X. Thank you. Of the chrysanthemum, how delightful. Thank you. I know that chrysanthemums have symbolization. I'm sure mayors can put out whatever they like.
What now?
Oh, a person asked if the mayor can put out their business to the public, and I was like, yeah, if they want to.
We can talk about whatever we want to talk about.
I remind you of a grown-up version of Luna Lovegood. I've been told that before. Thank you.
Yeah, being mayor doesn't change your First Amendment rights to free speech. So that's definitely a thing you
I
still
should do reading audiobooks. Oh, thank you very much. I've definitely heard that I ought to, and maybe someday I'll try.
Okay, we are live again.
I hope you're having
Hopefully
a good
this
night
works.
as well. Hello, Nederland.
We have a great friend from the Netherlands. She's amazing. She lives in Groningen.
Now that you're not occupied with that particular thing, I will rest my voice.
Good, good. Thank you, dear, for stalling for me. Is this the Goth Story Hour? No, this isn't the Goth Story Hour.
I like that, though.
That does sound nice. If you know where the Goth Story Hour is, so that I could find it, I would love to know more about it. Pittsburgh, welcome in. We have a couple of houses that have Pittsburgh potties, if you know what a Pittsburgh potty is.
Well, I think this is also the Goth Story Hour. I like it.
You want to call it the Goth Story Hour? But that would...
It's Vampire Story Night, but I like Goth Story Hour, too. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we are the hosts of the Goth Story Hour.
Oh, you want to rename it? Yeah. What if this person has already copyrighted the name?
It can be another name until we find out we can't use it.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, Pittsburgh potty. Do you know what a Pittsburgh potty is? You're also Gen X. That's why I get y'all love your whole family. Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Triano or Al? Al, are you a real human? Is my question to you. Do you ever really bother to think about it? I don't really think about it as much as you guys think I think about it.
Why are we talking about a Pittsburgh potty? Because we happen to have some in some of our houses that we own.
Yes, I do know about Pittsburgh potties. My parents' house had one, a town called Wilkinsburg. Yeah. This house actually has one, the house that we're in. Basements are very rare in Arkansas. You don't generally have basements here. So we do have a basement in this house. And
yeah, this one has since had a few privacy things built up around it. But yes, a toilet in the basement with no door or walls.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
It's a nice way for the men of the house to come back in through the basement entrance and to kind of get cleaned up a little bit and have some of their toilet before they come up into the main part of the house. Yes, we absolutely have thought of buying houses in other states, and I need to be quiet so I can rest my voice for story
rest
time.
your voice. We used to go to a place called the Gore Orphanage in the late 80s, early 90s. Is that in Gore, Oklahoma? I know where that is.
It's frozen again.
Yes, the steelworkers used it after work. Yeah, I don't know why we're having problems with this one today, but this is the last day of using this particular device. Now it's unfrozen. So hopefully changing devices helps to fix those things. Hey, Brandy, welcome in. Hi, Rosie. My friend lived in Pittsburgh for a while, but her dad transferred jobs and moved to my home state currently. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy where you're at. Make the most of the place you are. Shops for Home in Vegas. We were just talking to somebody about Vegas earlier. He used to run an adult club in Vegas. He was telling us the stories about that.
He now runs a delightful restaurant.
We need landlords in Yakima, Washington. There's not very many.
I have some family in Yakima.
Do you really? I didn't know.
I do. They don't know me.
Is that really close to Wenatchee?
Maybe.
No, maybe.
I don't know.
Hello. Welcome in.
You know, you creep your DNA relatives a little bit that don't know you.
You guys are amazing. And remember, the taps up here I reward. So when you get to 50,000 likes, I will do more magic. So 100,000 will be our next magic goal. We already did one trick at 50,000. So tap, tap, tap. We'll do some magic. You'll enjoy it. Varney the Vampire. Yes, from the 1840s.
Oh, did someone say they're from Wenatchee? Cool.
Yep, Wenatchee, Washington. Did I ever become mayor? The election isn't until November.
Oh, yes, that's hard, Kelly. I don't know. We haven't had that happen yet.
Yes, we haven't had to face that yet. But
I did have a time or two where I was nervous about some of our B&B guests not answering the door when it was time to clean up and they were supposed to be gone, thinking that, oh Lordy, I hope there's not something that we have to deal with that's a big deal.
Right.
Thank you. Are you posting your cholesterol update?
I will sometime. Blue, you ask for this every day. I'm so sorry. I will get it sometime.
I will tell you that mine is higher than Shane's.
Yes, hers is higher than mine.
Mm-hmm. But my triglycerides were 65.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're from Oklahoma. Your mother's family is from Western Arkansas. Well, we're from Western Arkansas.
Hello, hello.
Wes. You see what Wes says?
I do.
Thank you,
dear.
Wes. He says it's Morticia and Gomez Adams. Adams has 2 D's in it, though, just so you know. You misspelled it. But thank you. That is one of the kindest things you could possibly say to us. We are on a carnivore diet, and she is a lean mass hyper-responder, which means her LDL is going to be astronomically high compared to normal LDLs. But
my HDL is 99, and that's so very good.
Right. It's people that are thin and in ketosis, athletic will sometimes be lean mass hyper-responders. They have none of the negative effects of the high LDLs, but they do have very high numbers. Any tips on purchasing first investment property? Yes. Play the board game Cash Flow first. You can find that on my TikTok showcase.
You're welcome, dear. Are you ready to start the next chapter?
I was born ready.
I was a little...
For those who are just joining us, we're reading Varney the Vampire. This story is from the 1840s. I'm reading the parts for Varney the Vampire.
May we help you?
That video about the eviction, I've not laughed that hard.
Was that what I was hearing you laugh about? You liked that?
You set up so many jokes on that.
I was hoping to see a lot of the jokes that I set up completed in the comments, but I don't know everybody thinks on the same humor level as I do. So.
How about Hermione G? She said something about, I thought it was going to be Schaefer back up. I was like, I was napping nearby in case I got hit cocky in Go off,
You too, sir.
I was a bit spoiled the last chapter because I had a break in the middle.
All right, here we go. I'll be reading the parts for Varney. She's reading everything else. I make her do most of the work.
Sir Francis Varney, as soon as he reached his hotel, changed his habiliments and sought the Frasers, whom he found ready for the assembly and somewhat fearful that he was not coming. But he easily excused himself on the score of illness, and then they persuaded him to remain at their abode, and they would all do so too. But at the same time, Sir Francis insisted that his indisposition was but temporary, and he would rather visit the place, as it was a ball night. Thus persuaded, they agreed, and the 5 of them proceeded to the assembly rooms, where they amused themselves as fashionable people usually do. They danced and were highly delighted with the place, which was certainly of a very superior description. It contained the very elite of the Bath visitors, and appeared to advantage. The wealth and the beauty to be found in the room would have caused many a heart to bound with rapture, whether it was the misers or the lovers, for both could there find that which gladdened them most. Gold and beauty, wealth and youth, each could gloat his eyes on that he held dearest.
Did you ever witness a scene like this?
Said Sir Francis, as he led Miss Stevens to a seat and handled her refreshments.
Did you ever behold one in which was collected so much beauty and youth?
Oh, there are many happy faces.
And hearts, too, I hope.
Oh, I hope so, too.
There are several here who have never been to a ball before. 'Tis their debut in life, and a fine and lovely commencement it is. And if all their future years should be such a round of pleasure and gaiety as this, they needs must be happy.
Oh, I am sure they must. People here seem to wish to make each other happy.
And if they strive in heart, they must succeed in doing so, and in making themselves happy too.
No doubt they do. And then these are the original artworks from the 1840s. The original artworks.
And you, Miss Stevens, would you not make yourself happy when you make what? When you make others happy?
I certainly do feel happy when I am an instrument in the hands of another, doing good and seeing it really gives others happiness.
This is one of the noblest ends of life.
And one which you, Sir Francis, have pursued to some purpose. You ought to be happy, if any man can claim happiness.
I am in one respect, but when there is a great void in life which has to be filled, when that void is in the affections, can it be surprising that sorrow and grief are there?
Oh, I cannot give you an answer, because I have no knowledge of such an existence. Had I, it would be otherwise, but I cannot say yea or nay.
Well, it is so that void is in my heart, and before I saw you, I felt it not. But now I feel it so deeply, and I shall ever do so, unless, but I hardly dare say more. My heart will never again know sorrow, and never again feel tranquil. Wants and wishes have sprung up, which now have never presented themselves in the shape of possibilities, much less probabilities, and which now are realities.
This is a strange conversation, Sir Francis.
It is, Miss Stevens, and I feel it to be so, but unfortunately I have a certain difficulty to overcome, which perhaps accident more than courage will enable me to break through. But to speak plainly, before I saw you, the whole world was alike to me. I cared not for more than... oh yeah, you have your microphone. Sorry.
Sorry.
Trying to get handsy because I picture Varney being handsy as he's having this
I'm
conversation.
like, there's a microphone there, dude.
I saw you, the whole world was alike to me. I cared not for one more than another, but now the world has new charms, and I have new hopes and wishes. God knows if they were to be dissipated, like the morning mist before the glories of the rising sun. Love has made sad havoc in my heart, and to love and despair is the bitterest lot humanity can fall into. Man can bear all that adverse fate may entail upon him, but that saps at the foundation of the superstructure, our love of life, without which society could not hold together. And with disappointed love, there is no love of existence.
Indeed, Sir Francis, I regret to hear it.
Will you prevent it?
I cannot now answer you any such question. If I were inclined to do so, I have not the power. See, Sir Francis, there is another set.
Will you dance?
No, I do not think I will dance any more tonight, but I shall be glad to rejoin my sister and brother.
I will lead you to them with pleasure, but will you allow me to name this matter to Captain Fraser?
I have no right to dictate to you, Sir Francis, said Mary with evident embarrassment. Much less would I do so, or endeavor to do so, to one whom I owe so much. And yet, I fear that it will be fruitless.
There yonder are your friends.
As Sir Francis spoke, he pointed to another end of the room, to which he was leading her, and which was occupied by many of the most fashionable and beautiful. They also had to pass down a lane of fashionables, who were occupying seats, having been fatigued by dancing, many not having danced at all, but come to keep watchful and Argus eyes upon the sons and daughters whom they brought with them. These at least noticed them. All eyes were fixed upon them, and Sir Francis, certainly with an air of triumph, led the beautiful Mary Stevens towards her friends, who were gazing at them with attention. Mary thought herself somewhat awkwardly situated, and knew not how to release herself, and also felt that any attempt of the kind would really be as ungracious as it would be ungrateful, and so restrained herself. A few yards more, and then she was once again in the company of her friends, but not released from Sir Francis, for he seated himself by her side with the ease of one who was well accustomed to their society and of those around him. "Well, Sir Francis," said Mrs. Fraser, "you have not been unnoticed in the ballroom. You have created quite a sensation. Your dancing is superior, and your tall figure has set you off."
You mistake, Miss Fraser. The object of such general attention was no other than your beautiful sister, my fair partner.
"Do not make her vain."
That indeed would be a misfortune, but she has such an excellent capacity of mind that she runs the danger of such a misfortune. But even were it not so, there would be much excuse.
"You are flattering, Sir Francis."
Not I assure you. How do you find yourself?
"I am getting quite fatigued. My recent journeys must plead an excuse for my weariness at such a time and in such a place as this."
I am not surprised at this, considering you have been riding for many days in the past. Would you choose to retire tonight and remain later on another occasion?
"I think," said Captain Fraser, "it may be as well. What do you say, my dear?" "Well, I am quite willing." "And so am I," said Mary. "Indeed, I would much sooner we left early, if midnight can be called early."
It is much past that hour now.
"Then I think that we are decided upon going."
Very well, then I will obtain a carriage for our use, and then we shall retire to our homes.
"If you please, Sir Francis."
Varney then rose and went out for the purpose of procuring what was wanted, and by the aid of a little silver he soon obtained what he desired, and then returned to inform his friends of the success of his mission. They then left the ballroom and proceeded at once to enter the carriage, which was so placed that they could at once enter without any inconvenience, and they soon gained their hotel, and after a slight repast they separated.
Let's take a break there for just a minute. It looks like a nice place to pause.
This seems paused over there again.
Yeah, I think we're having technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties for the people on that one place.
I wish this book were available in the TikTok shop, but it was not the last time we checked. This one's a relatively harder one to find, but you can get it on the Zon.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad you enjoy my voice.
We're getting very close. 15,000 more taps, and I will perform some more magic for you. So we're almost to the next 50,000. She has an incredible reading voice, doesn't she, John? I absolutely adore it. One of my favorite things is listening to her read aloud, and I'm very happy to have an excuse to convince her to read every week to me aloud. So you guys, thank you. You delight me. I'm not wearing earrings, but thank you.
I did find these on Amazon.
You told someone earlier you'd be great at audiobooks. Well, she would be great at audiobooks, and it's a possibility, but I don't know. We don't have a lot of time for pursuing additional hobbies beyond what we already have.
It appears as though it is... No, it's not quite time for the next magic trick, my friend.
No, you still have 15,000 taps to go. 14,000 now. You guys are getting with it.
On the platform with the red button,
The red triangular-shaped button you can find.
you can find the
recordings.
lives there.
Yep.
Or on the other one, yeah. But they're all frozen up on the F
Yes.
one. The one with the blue F is very frozen up right now, and I don't think that it's going to make it.
I have a feeling audiobooks would be fun but time-consuming. Yes, and when you read an audiobook, it takes several takes sometimes for a person to complete certain parts of their story. Here,
Hello,
you get to
thank
see
you.
all of our mistakes along the way when we bumble across some words and such.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you find this relaxing.
Your skin is beautiful. What products do we use? Meat.
I rub beef fat on my skin every morning and every night.
Meat fat.
Tallow.
All right. Are you ready? You want a little bit more of a breather?
I guess I can go further. We'll see
It
how
looks
we
like
go.
I have a lot of lines in the next part too.
Yeah,
so.
that's what I'm thinking. I can do a little bit more.
All right, let's do it.
It was the next morning when Sir Francis Varney entered the room in which he usually took breakfast with the Frasers. But though late, he only met Captain Fraser.
I'm afraid, Captain Fraser, that I have kept you all. Perhaps the ladies have gone out?
No, they have not yet come down. Indeed, had you been 5 minutes earlier than this, you would not have found me here.
Well, I know not the reason, but I slept well myself, to be sure. I did not fall readily to sleep, and that may account for it.
Indeed, and do you not sleep sound?
Usually, I may say generally, but sometimes some reflections keep the mind actively employed against one's own wishes. That is so true. That happens to me sometimes, too.
They do so, Sir Francis. I have myself found that to be the case, but I am sorry my female folk do not come down.
Nay, Captain Fraser, do not wish that on my account. I am rather pleased they are not down than otherwise.
Indeed, Sir Francis?
Yes, as it leaves me an opportunity of saying a few words to you, Captain Fraser, upon a subject that concerns myself nearly and deeply.
You amaze me, Sir Francis.
I had hoped you might have had some guess at it, Captain Fraser, as it would have helped me through my task, for my heart almost fails me when I think of the possibility of want of success. My want of nerve is not habitual.
I can dispose to so much, Sir Francis. You showed courage and nerve where courage and nerve were most wanted.
Ah, well, Captain Fraser, if I had been brought up to your noble profession, I would have been better able to make an impression. But I will be my best. But I will do my best. But the subject is a grave one, as it relates to my feelings towards your sister-in-law, Miss Mary Stevens.
Indeed, Sir Francis.
Yes, Captain Fraser, I who have passed through so many ordeals of beauty, have at last been compelled to bow before the shrine of beauty. I am devoted and humble admirer of Miss Stevens' charms and her virtues.
Well, Sir Francis?
I now beg your permission to visit her and be accepted into your family in the character of one who ardently wishes and desires to become a member of it by any means of a union between myself and that young lady.
Personally, Sir Francis, I have the greatest pleasure in hearing you say so much.
Then I am likely to be fortunate?
So far as my approbation and my consent are concerned, Sir Francis, you certainly are successful, but according to the vulgar proverb, as one swallow makes no summer, so one individual's consent is not decisive where two are required to concur.
Certainly, Captain Fraser. I was not wishing to put the young lady aside, but having your consent, I may go on to the endeavor to obtain the happiness I so much look forward to. But I may count upon your good offices.
You may, most certainly.
And your amiable lady?
Yes, I think I may say that she will unite with me in using all due means of aiding you in your wishes. Ah, but here she is.
At that moment, Mrs. Fraser entered the apartment, and advancing to Sir Francis, offering him her hand, and saying, "Sir Francis, how do you do this morning? I am afraid that I have kept you. Ah, I see that you are alone with Captain Fraser. Where is my sister?"
Mary has not yet come down.
We are both late, I think.
I am, madam, but you have come at a right moment.
Have I? Why do you reckon it so?
Because I was just at that moment speaking of you. Here you are, so that I can speak to you, which is much better.
Well, so it is. But what is it about?
Your amiable and lovely sister.
Ah, that is what you men always say. It is just what Captain Fraser said to me.
Then may I hope for a like success?
I don't understand.
Why, I was saying to Captain Fraser, if he would obtain your aid in my behalf and attack upon your sister's heart, I have been unable to hold off any longer. I am deeply and desperately in love.
Well, that is a very dangerous disorder, and I must see what Mary can do to console you in your affliction.
You will indeed deserve my best thanks if you do so, and should success crown our efforts, how deep a debt of gratitude will mine be to you.
How much are we not in yours already?
But my whole happiness will be through your efforts.
Oh, no. Remember, you said just now it was my sister that you meant to wed, and not me.
Good God, how could you imagine I had said such a profane thought?
Oh, Sir Francis, I must see what I can do with Mary. But she comes, another of the dramatis personae. Mary Stevens at that moment entered the room, and felt most abashed at finding all eyes riveted upon her without speaking, and she advanced towards the fire, having made an inclination to Sir Francis, saying as she came down, "I fear that I have been the means of keeping you wanting. I am sorry you did so, but I was really not aware of the hour."
Nor were me.
"Oh, excuse me." "Nor were we," said Miss Fraser. "And it appears as we have all been late, save Sir Francis, who, like a true knight, has been at his post. I don't know how long before I came down myself."
Nay, don't you listen to any charges, Miss Stevens. I have been here but a very short time, though I ought to have been here earlier.
"It is fortunate, then, that you did, Sir Francis. And I am relieved of the charge of detaining breakfast to an unusual hour. It matters but little when it is had so long as it will be had when it is wanted. What say you, Sir Francis?"
I believe that the grand object of all our wishes and wants is to have what we want when we want it. An Eastern potentate would not be better served or have more powerful or richer than to be able to say so much.
"You are his equal."
I am in some things, certainly, but I want an empress, and thus you see I am dethroned and rendered powerless by a few words.
"Oh, you can obtain even that."
Not exactly, for she who I might choose might refuse to become mine. Then I am a weary wanderer upon earth's surface. I am no longer one among men, but a mere existence moving about without filling a allotted position.
"Oh, this is very doubtful, Sir Francis. If you say much more, you will spoil your appetite for breakfast."
Mary, that is cruel. That is a cruel cut. You did not mean it, I dare say, but it is sufficient rebuke. I must come to plain speaking, and at once hope you recollect the subject upon which I spoke to you in the ballroom last night.
"I do, Sir Francis. It would be affliction."
Affection. Can you not see it?
Is that affection?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh. It would
Affectation. Yeah.
affectation
I'm
if
sorry.
I did not.
Well, I have sought, Captain, and forgive me for trying to correct you, my dear. You're so amazing.
That's all right. Thank
An
you for
unusual
helping.
word. The language and the meter of this is challenging because it is over 200 years old, or over 180 years old.
It is definitely magic time after we finish this chapter.
Oh, awesome. Well, I have sought Captain and Miss Fraser's permission to endeavor to win those smiles and good wishes that I so much desire should be mine.
You can never deserve less than good wishes from me. You cannot have less. I am too deeply indebted.
There now may permit me to interrupt you. I must not hear any more of that. I did my duty on that occasion.
Occasions?
Well, occasions, and I hope no gentleman having the power would have done otherwise. And if so, I have only done what others would have done under the same circumstances. A very ordinary act indeed.
You are making less of it than it deserves, were it only for our sakes.
I see you won't entertain my wishes seriously, but recollect what is sport to you and unalive to me. The affections of a blighted heart cannot weigh lightly when the evil is consummated.
Do not think, Sir Francis, that I wish to evade or to slight any wishes that you may form. As far as I am concerned, they are a great honor to me, but I am yet too young and adverse to anything of the kind yet to feel justified in seriously entertaining such matters as those that you allude to.
That indeed must be a mistake. You are not too young. Epstein? Anyway,
Dear.
let me hope that you will not refuse to allow me the satisfaction and pleasure of your company. That would indeed be a greater misfortune than could otherwise happen to me, to my deprived suddenly of that, I assure you.
Certainly, I cannot feel otherwise than gratitude to you, Sir Francis, and derive that pleasure in your society which others feel, and which all your friends must experience. But we will say no more upon this subject, except that I have given as serious and positive an answer as I can. There were many other observations made during the breakfast time to much the same effect, but it is unnecessary to record them, and the breakfast passed off as pleasantly as possible under those circumstances.
Awkward.
Yes. Over and over trying to say, you want to love me.
Poor
We
Varney.
do love the TikTok shop. Did we say something we shouldn't have?
I don't know.
My.
We probably should.
We love the TikTok shop.
Yes, we do.
But it is time for Shane to do some magic.
Yes, we're over 100,000. Let's see.
I'm
what
curious.
magic should we do?
I have
here?
a curiosity.
A curiosity.
At what age did British women often enter the marriage mart?
Marriage mart. I didn't know they had a marriage mart.
17 or 18. And Miss Stevens is 17.
Yes. I think we'll do this one. I haven't done this one in a while.
It says 17 or 18 years old, while some might appear as early as 16. They were usually presented at court around this age to secure a suitable, high-status match.
All right. Let's play with my magic cat toy of happiness. Okay, so green. Wait. Green and yellow are connected. See, green and yellow are connected. You can turn it around this way, and you can see green and yellow. Now, green and red are also connected, okay? So pay attention. See how the green and the red move? Red, green, green. Okay, yellow and green are still connected. Don't get distracted. Now, I want you to figure out how this works. It's a lot more fun when you figure out how it works, okay? So red and yellow are also connected. Red, yellow, okay? And yellow and green, or red and green are still connected. Yellow and green are still connected, and purple and yellow are connected, because obviously the purple and the yellow one should also be connected, just like that. And the purple one is connected to the green one, which is still connected to the yellow one. And the purple one is connected to the red one, which is still connected to the green one, which is still connected to the yellow one. But in case you are lost, I'm going to help you all, because I think this is, as I said, it's a lot more fun when you figure it out. So we're going to get up nice and close here so you can take a look. And when we pull this
not
apart,
everybody can see it where you're at.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to balance it for all the cameras. When we pull it apart, what you're going to find is that they're not connected at all.
We do always hope for the best. Your brain can't process it right now.
Oh, 3 a.m. Well, thank you for staying up late to hang out with us while we're live. England has had nothing to do with your country since Independence Days. UK don't want you. Well, that is not what you said during World War II, I can assure you, UK. Hit the cart. Yes, hit the cart. Hello, everybody.
It said while they debuted in their late teens, actual marriage often occurred a few years later. The average age of the first marriage for an upper-class woman in the early 19th century in Britain was approximately 20 to 22.
I see.
Courting, it was a thing.
Courtship.
Governor and Lady Governor.
But doesn't it sound like a much simpler arrangement to, go talk to the father and have the father make the arrangement? We could actually get our kids hooked up this way.
Oh, well, I suppose. If we found some eligible young ladies that we could talk to their parents.
Yes, we just need to go talk to some parents. I have a son about your daughter's age.
Perhaps that would be a thing. Wonderful evening to you, too. And we do still rent out our vacation rentals.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were already trying to sell them off for goats, but I didn't feel like there was a good crypto coin representing goats as a purchase.
Okay, well, I think we can get another chapter in before our evening time is up.
Really?
I
whole other
do.
chapter?
I do.
Wow.
I have a lot of reading to do without your help because the ladies are discussing Varney without his presence.
Oh, ladies talking about Varney.
Mm-hmm.
How scandalous. Well, I will chit-chat with some folks.
You were considered a spinster if you were not married by the time you were 23 or 24.
Spinster.
A spinster.
How many of you would have been spinsters?
Let's see, I don't want to say how old I was. I might have been considered a spinster.
By some people's standards.
But I happily found you. Shall we start the next chapter, my loves?
I think we shall, dear.
All right, dear. There was much stir in Bath the next day on account of the unaliving that had occurred, and everybody spoke of it. The papers were filled with it, and it was thought to have been the most barbarous unaliving that had ever been committed, and most active exertions were being made to discover the perpetrators of the horrid deed. All sorts of conjectures were being made as to who the unaliver might be, and his object in becoming one. Gold, of course, was assigned as that. There was something terrible in the fact that this should have occurred just as the Frasers had arrived in Bath. It was startling, they thought, though they could, of course, have no connection with it whatsoever. While examinations were being proceeded with, Sir Francis Varney appeared out in the streets as seldom as possible. Not that he had any fear of recognition, for that was impossible, but at the same time he would not run unnecessary risks while so much was to be won. The days passed, and many very pleasant hours were spent, and the gaieties of Bath were enjoyed to their fullest, while Sir Francis was their great friend everywhere, for somehow or other Sir Francis obtained the precedence to go where he would, and they shared it with him. He pressed his suit with much ardor, and Mary Stevens appeared each day less and less inclined to accept of Sir Francis Varney for a lover. She felt a greater and greater repugnance to Sir Francis, who, however, pressed her more hardly and more assiduously than ever. However, Captain Fraser and his lady were sensible of the advantages of such a match to themselves and to Mary, for they could not believe that one so courteous and brave could do otherwise than make any lady happy. The first objection would wear away in the person of such a man as Varney. They therefore espoused his cause warmly when they found that Mary was averse to such a match.
What can be your objection, Mary?
Oh, let me try that again.
Oh.
What could be your objection, Mary? Inquired Mrs. Fraser. I cannot tell. Surely it cannot be an insurmountable objection.
Don't call me Shirley.
Well, since you do not know what it consists of, you cannot have a very definite idea, said Captain Fraser, and possibly a little explanation may set the matter to rights.
I know well enough what it means.
Do you, dear? Why not tell us?
I will. It consists of a strong dislike to Sir Francis. I cannot tell you why, but it is a very strong and yet distinct feeling.
Well, what can it arise from?
That I cannot explain.
If you could, we should be able to come to some conclusion respecting it, but at present it appears like a blind, causeless antipathy, and against one so well calculated to make any female happy as Sir Francis Varney, is so extraordinary that it really exceeds belief. I cannot express my regret and astonishment. I cannot understand it.
And I am sorry for it.
And more like ingratitude, Mary, than I thought you capable of. There are 2 occasions upon which you stand indebted to him for your life. He risked his own greatly on the last occasions.
I am truly sorry that it should happen so, sister. Well then, Mary, amend the error, for if it were any other affair, any ordinary affair, common dislike might pass very well, but towards such a man as Sir Francis Varney, it is decidedly wrong. Indeed, when I recollect the horrors of that night, when I remember the flames and the smoke, and saw you wrapped up in safety from the effects of the fire, while he was exposed to every breath of hot air. Hush! Hush, please, dear sister, I recollect it all, but it makes me shudder.
Can you then? Can you regard such a man with cold dislike? Upon my word, I am shocked at you, sister, at your baseness.
Oh, sister, sister, you are too severe, much too severe.
Only just, Mary, only just.
More than just. Do not turn persecutor.
I would not, but this conduct of yours makes me feel strongly, very strongly, and I can hardly face Sir Francis Varney and tell him that one who belongs to me can treat him in such a manner.
Does love always spring from gratitude?
It is useless to ask such questions, Mary, or I might retort by asking if such services as his always produce dislike. But Sir Francis is no ordinary man. Suppose you do not love him, which might be explicable, but then you have no other love. You are fancy-free, are you not?
Yes, yes.
Well, then, you have no motive for dislike, though you might be indifferent. In such a case, I should not have thought it possible that there could have been less than gratitude and the warmest esteem for his services and his own good qualities. For he has as good qualities as a man can have.
Oh, yes, sister, my dear sister, but that dreadful night has left such an impression upon my mind that I cannot, dearest, do what you desire. I mean that I cannot love Sir Francis Varney.
What? Why not love him because of the remembrance of his services?
Oh, you quite misunderstand my feelings. Upon that occasion, I can never feel grateful enough for the rescue from the horrible monster who attacked me while I slept at the inn. I can never forget that moment of horror and terror. I cannot, even to this day, make out the object of the intruder. It was not robbery, and it could not have been any ordinary attack, for it was not carried out in the usual manner. To seize anyone by the arm, and to suck the very blood from their veins, appears to me to be a proceeding quite unaccountable in the ordinary course of things.
Well, it was very strange.
Yes, and stranger than all that, it has given me a perfect horror of a man in general. I cannot abide the thought of being married at all. Indeed, I won't, and I hope that that is enough.
Upon my word, good sister, said Captain Fraser,
Oh.
half angry and half jestingly. You would almost make me believe that you are desirous of taking the veil, but you cannot have any reason for taking such a strong antipathy to male creatures. You must know very well that because you have got a fright in a country inn, that all the abodes of men in the world are not filled with goblins and spirits and the like, and wicked ogres who are only waiting to eat you up, just like they would eat up any young maiden.
I can't believe she thinks that Varney the Vampire would want to eat her. Weird.
It was no jesting matter to me.
I do not say but what it was a frightful reality. But, at the same time, such terrible occurrences as these cannot be supposed to happen every day in one's life. Indeed, one in a long life would be a terrible frequency, which is never known, and I think that you might dismiss the subject from your mind as an inexplicable event, unpleasant and unprofitable to recall.
But it has been too terrible and too mysterious for me to ever forget, and least of all could I do it in so short of a time.
Well, I do not expect that you could forget it immediately, but at the same time, I cannot see how it could affect your opinion of your preserver. Indeed, it is a strange perversion of intellect, not to say a degree of ingratitude that is difficult, if not impossible, to understand or to believe.
Well, I can say no more, said Mary. Let me say that in her more delicate voice.
Okay.
I can say no more.
That is a very resigned and easy on your part. But what we are to say to Sir Francis Varney, I am sure that I cannot tell. It appears to me that you have a childish dislike to him, one for which you can allege no reason, and therefore improper. I wonder what he or any impartial person could think of it, if they had all fully and carefully explained it to them.
I am sure that I do not know, but it is usually sufficient in a case of this kind to say one cannot love the party, and to escape from what becomes an infliction, or in time a persecution. But this is not such a case as you would appear to imagine. There is no persecution, and Sir Francis only desires that you will permit him to attempt to obtain your goodwill. Oh, but knowing that he cannot obtain that, speaking in the light you mean, it becomes a serious annoyance to me to think that I should always be attended by a person who, on the score of having done me some service, expects me to listen to his addresses and to accept him as a lover. It is becoming a prisoner indeed, when one must not exercise one's discretion in the matter that so nearly concerns the happiness of my future life. Mary, you are making a mountain out of a molehill. I have not taken the same view of this matter that you have, and therefore you quarrel with me. I think that a great deal too bad. I did not believe you would have quarreled with me upon such a subject, one that concerns me so much as this. Exactly. It does concern you, and it concerns us also, and that is the reason why we feel warmly upon the subject. Your want of motive is so apparent that it quite concerns us. We are completely staggered. What it can all end in, I'm sure, I cannot tell, but Sir Francis must think us an ungrateful set, or at least he must believe that you are actuated by the worst and most ungracious caprice, and capable of great ingratitude. I am sorry for it, but for all that I cannot consent to marry Sir Francis Varney. I know not why, but I do. Well, you really ought to be ashamed of such an admission, for I am sure that he does not deserve such a treatment. I am compelled to admit that to be true. Then why in the name of heaven should you let prejudice surmount reason, and reason that you acknowledge ought to be paramount? You know your folly, and yet you persist in it. Was there ever such folly? Come on, Mary, come, you must give up this kind of nonsense. You must act as I have always believed you would. You must meet Sir Francis in a proper spirit, and the result will no doubt be that you will banish all these idle fancies. I should be glad to do so, for they will make me very happy. I shall be glad to do so, for they will make me very unhappy. Well, they are calculated to do so, and when you have cast them aside, your own happiness and that of your friends will be much increased. There was much astir in Bath on the account of the unaliving, and the papers were filled with terrific descriptions of the scene, which some even went to the trouble and expense of producing sketches of, which, what with being badly drawn, badly copied, blotted and printed, and being as unlike the original as possible, gave the inhabitants and strangers not a very vivid idea of the place. When, however, the details were adverted to, they were terrible enough, and when Sir Francis Varney entered the apartment in which he usually dined, he found his friends were full of discussion. "Have you seen anything of the unaliving, Sir Francis?"
No, sir,
replied Sir Francis.
"Well, there has been a dreadful affair happened. How horrible to think that they might not have been discovered at all, but for the neighbors breaking the door in."
What is it all about, Captain?
"Why, 2 old women were unalived a few nights ago, and they have but just been discovered. The papers are full of it."
What? The unalivers? Well, that's a quick discovery.
No. I mean, it was not discovered at all. It was supposed till at least 24 hours after the deed.
Oh, I see that I missed something.
24 hours after the deed.
Dear me, how was that?
I cannot tell, except the old woman was an eccentric, and her shutters had been closed before the whole day, but there was no other sign of life about the house the whole day, which alarmed the neighbors much, and they began to take precautions towards the evening to force the door, when a tall, peculiar-looking man was observed entering the house by means of a key.
They observed that, did they?
Why, yes, he was seen quite plain.
It will be fortunate if he should have been the unaliver, because they can identify him.
Undoubtedly they can,
I'm glad of it,
said Varney. Well, he was seen to go in, and then to go over the house, because there was a light seen to travel up the stairs, and stop there for some time, and then they knocked for admission, but not being answered, they at once forced open the door, and they all rushed in, but were horrified to find themselves tumbling over the bodies of the old woman, who kept the house, and her servant.
It must have been a startling thing, certainly.
Well, they stopped a moment or two, as was most probable at such a sight, and then they ran up the stairs, believing the unaliver was there.
And was he there?
Well, he must have been so, because they heard him get up to the roof, and they followed, but were baffled, because he threw the ladder down, which caused them some confusion, and during that, the unaliver contrived to escape.
Well, it was quite a field of adventure, but it is to be lamented where they were not successful in their endeavors to catch the unaliver. But what is the alleged motive for the deed?
They say that she had some strange fancies, and that among others, she had all her money in the house, her capital upon which she lived, without any fear of exhausting it. That was known to someone or other, and got whispered about, and it is presumed for that purpose the poor woman was unalived.
How horribly barbarous. But isn't there any suspicion upon anyone? Because it's usually the case.
There is, I believe.
And upon whom does it fall?
Upon a relation of her own, who has not been seen for some days, and who had been known to have spoken with impatience at the old woman's life, and the mode in which she spent her money.
That speaks for itself.
So it does, but they have not taken him yet.
I hope they will, I'm sure, because the whole affair is so truly horrible.
So it is. Will you go to the theater tonight? There is no ball. we can have an excellent box. What say you, my dear?
Said Captain Fraser to his lady. I am willing. Are you agreeable, Mary? Yes. I am quite content with your decision.
Then we are all agreed to the proposal. There will be a celebrated actress from London there, and I hope that we shall find the entertainment well worthy of our patronage. Indeed, I have little doubt of it.
Yay! What a fun story.
The bookmark.
There you go, dear.
We did pretty good. I think we got right on time there, didn't we?
Yeah, we're about where we want to be time-wise.
Thank you, everybody, for being so awesome.
I love you guys very, very much. Thank you for hanging
You're
out for another
funny.
vampire story night. How are we doing on our taps? We're not nearly to our 150,000 number yet, so I guess no more magic for us this time. You'll have to follow for next time. So next
you,
Wednesday, same time, same bat time,
Same bat channel.
we'll be reading more Varney the Vampire. We're getting close. We're
We're
Probably.
over halfway.
maybe 2 more months to go.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll finish this.
So this is the second volume of Varney the Vampire. There is another one this size.
And we've read them all.
So we have gone more than 3/4 of a way through this story now.
Thank you for the dolphin, Dee. Thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
You guys are amazing. You really are. I love you all. We're going to go for now, but I will see you tomorrow.
Good night, sweethearts. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweethearts. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really